Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallowgateshots YouTube channel. And we are here for a live match preview for Newcastle United versus Leeds United. It is me, Chris, joined by Roger.
All right. I'm all right.
I think is this the first one we've done as a duo?
It may well be. It may well. Yeah.
We've done extra time a couple of times, but I think this is the first one, just me and you. But yeah, if anybody wants to put any comments in, any questions about this game, feel free to do so. We'll go through as many as we can. We'll probably go for around about half an hour, 40 minutes on this one.
Depends if we get on to Greg's sort of Sarnies and stuff.
If food becomes a topic,
yeah, then we could take a bit of a time.
And if Steve Bruce is involved, food is going to be a topic.
Yeah.
But what I want to do first of all, your thoughts on the Man United game.
There was parts where I don't want to sound like Bruce and take the positives out of getting beat 4-1, but there was a little bit of encouragement in some areas. Like, I've been wanting Man Utd to play for a long time, and he proved that he should be getting a regular game, although it looks like he's picked up a knock now, so that'll be him out of the game.
We'll hear more about that tomorrow.
Yes, in one of Steve Bruce's most explosive press conferences. But yeah, I think most people went into it expecting to be humped. On the face of it, we did get humped, but it perhaps flattered Man United ever so slightly. But I just cannot be, it's difficult to take those positives out of basically getting beat again.
Yeah, I think what we touch on Monday night, if you haven't seen the Monday night recording of the Always Smiling Faces podcast, we did touch on the fact that it did flatter Man United quite a bit, that scoreline. Yeah. It was one of those games where Newcastle do all right to a certain point, then it's just Man United just stepping up that extra level.
I think that's what it's about, though. It's like Man United probably could always have, at some point, stepped it up and made it easier for themselves, whereas that is probably the maximum that we can play at.
Saint maximum. Oh, good too.
That is the maximum we can play at, unfortunately. But there's so many frustrations around, the team that he picks, and he goes on about defensive stability or defensive problems that we're having. Then you've got like Isaac Hayden all of a sudden thrust into a centre back position
when you've got two centre backs on the bench,
which absolutely blows my tiny mind. But maybe that's why I'm not a paid professional football manager.
But then you could argue the same about Steve Bruce. To be honest.
I'm going. That's it.
What I do want to mention, actually, you might not know this, but I think you actually may have started this on extra time. But every time,
I didn't want to go into it, right? I listened to it about fucking Lee Ryder, right? And you were on about rolling the eyes, whereas Laura and I started the whole thing.
Yeah, you did. That's what I'm giving you credit.
I didn't want to bring it up, but I suppose if you brought it up, then yes.
I'm giving you credit.
Credit to extra time. So all me extra time people, thank you.
But yes, every time Lee Ryder gets a mention on this channel from now on, you've got to do that.
And Simon Rourke, he got a bit of
Does
a
he get some as well?
Yeah, because he sort of he teed Ryder up. So he got the first question in. That's kind of been...
Was that not Miles Starford that got the first one in?
It was Miles Starford, and then it was Simon O'Rourke.
Was it?
Who talked at the wording of the statement, and then Ryder went on about... So he got
a fans question.
He got an eye roll, so he got an eye roll. Then Lee Ryder got an eye roll.
It's a little bit
Lee
more...
Ryder got the full on.
It's a little bit more of an eye roll now, though, isn't it?
Oh,
it's gone
megastrophic.
Well, at the point where he's going to start making noises.
It's like the face is he's sort of engaging not just the eyes, but it's like the nose, the mouth, and the cheeks are really coming to the fore on this one. And it's a real. I mean, he's showing a lot more variety in his facial movements than he is in his tactical abilities. So maybe he's missed his calling it. We should be maybe he's going down to Dorset and doing that. That thing that they do where they put the horse carrier thing around their neck.
The Gurning
competition.
Yeah.
Maybe Brucey's just in the wrong job.
Have
we ever thought about that? He could be the
Gurning champion 2022 for Steve Bruce.
So,
but yeah,
there we go. There's a first tangent for you.
It is. What I've already. I haven't even mentioned Leeds yet. This whole little spat between Lee Ryder and Steve Bruce is very strange. It is strange. I'm not sure where maybe it's sourced from the Sunderland days. I'm not too sure. But Steve Bruce was renowned for taking the likes of these journalists out for food just to keep them on the good side. Maybe Lee didn't get invited. Sorry, Lee. Maybe Lee Ryder didn't get an invite.
It's like yep, go on. You know, like that's what he does. Yeah. It's like when you're in trouble with it's like when you're in trouble with your parents and they're like, you're gonna give them excuses. Yep, go on then. Yep. And he's already teeing it up. So Lee Ryder could ask him a genuine question about team selection. And he'll be like, yeah, go on then. He said, so any news on Man Utd? Go, so I think we're at the point now where the relationship's a total breakdown point. I think now
it's gone, hasn't it?
It's past the spat.
Do we need counselling between the two of them?
I think there should be. I think we need who could be the intervent, like who could be the mediator.
We'll get them here.
Maybe the comments could like
me and you will sit here. Yep. We'll have Lee Ryder that side. We'll have Steve Bruce that side.
Yeah,
and we'll just work it out.
Yeah, and then in the end they could like kiss.
We've got cans. Well,
maybe
we've got Mark's cans.
Is there sexual tension between them possibly? Like maybe that's what it is. Like maybe there's an underlying tension there, like
between Steve.
Yeah, well, maybe I mean, Lee Ryder's, he's a good-looking guy, and Steve Bruce is a multi-millionaire.
Baldy.
So, like, maybe that's at the crux of the discussion, like, and this hatred that they have between them. Maybe there's something that's obviously happened behind closed doors.
So we've got press conference tomorrow morning. We will see Lee Ryder. We will see Lee Ryder again tomorrow, along with the likes of Miles Starver, Chris Waugh from The Athletic will be there. There'll be a handful of them. Is tomorrow's press conference going to be a bit, what's the word I'm looking for?
Catchy.
Yes, or is Steve Bruce going to go to the opposite side and say, right, I'll be nice on this one and we'll see what happens?
I don't think he can help himself. I think he has this abrasive compulsion I think the die is cast now between, like, he thinks that the fans
are negative like, because of Lee Ryder,
because of the Chronicle, and like nothing could be further from the truth, because I don't know many people who still read the Chronicle, to be perfectly honest with you.
I tried the other week. I can't remember what article came up, but I did try.
Did you get a pop-up about penis enlargement?
Jesus Christ, the amount of pop-ups that I got, mate. Like, it was unbelievable. Phenomenal. Yeah. Like, I've never seen anything like it.
I've got to make bank, haven't they, somehow?
They do, but Jesus Christ. Like, I thought I was going to have a like thick at one point, like the amount of like things that would just come. I was like, you get LED light.
That was a strong LED light, though.
But right, press conference. I probably think I'll probably sit on the side of thinking he'll probably just try and keep calm on this one.
Yeah.
Maybe they might mention the protests. The arranged protests. It's a possibility.
Yeah, they might do. I mean, I think I don't know whether the Chronicle will address it straight out, whether one of the other like journalists
directly to them.
Yeah, whether one of the other journalists will, because really I think there needs to be this is the problem with these Zoom conferences, press conferences, is like there's no real room for follow-up. So like
they get one question.
Yeah, that's it. And then they have to use the hand up function, and then somebody can just press Control Alt Delete, and then the whole thing's over. So
mute Lee Ryder.
Yeah, I just mute him. Mute Lee Ryder. So yeah, I think he'll try and come in with all smiles and positivity, and then I just feel like he cannot help himself, and he says that he's got thick skin, but I think he's the thinnest skin manager we've had in a long time.
Thicker skin on the gravy.
Yeah, aye. So don't mention gravy though, because then the press conference will just deteriorate.
That's what
further.
I'll buy him. I was going to apologise. But right, the game itself, I know we are recording this prior to the press conference, so we're not sure on the injuries.
Yeah.
But apparently that we picked up knocks for 3 players. It was Managerial, Willock, and Kieran Clark.
Yep.
The 3 players that picked up injuries. Well, knocks we'll say. Are we worried that these aren't going to feature, or do you think it's just precaution sort of thing?
Well, I mean, Steve Bruce will find a way of not playing a centre-back in a centre-back's position, so I don't think we need to worry whether Kieran Clark's fit or not. I think Willock and Managerial for me are the main ones, because I've always liked Managerial. I think
He had a dodgy first season. Then I think he has done well. He has really has.
And he's a right fullback / right wing back. Like that's his position. And I think like rather than getting asked about, I think going back to obviously Mr. LR, we'll call him now because I don't want to say his name too many times. But like really the question should be about these players being played out of position. Like why was Isaac, what was the thought behind Isaac Hayden playing centre back? What was the thought behind only just, still playing persistent with Matt Ritchie at left wing back against, I think Sancho was probably direct against him against Man United. Like,
it's all a big blur now.
They've got like, they've got Dan James, they've got Rafinha, who are both speedy players, and they're going to play potentially up against a 32-year-old Matt Ritchie, who's was never the quickest anyway. Like, I just think there's more questions that could be asked of him rather than obviously the holiday was a big thing, but like to take it back to
gone now, hasn't it?
Yeah, like to take what's happening with the team.
Apparently, all three players were in training today, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
You would obviously expect Manke and Willock to have starting positions in there. Kieran Clark, like we said, that Fabian Shaw and Fernandez were both on the bench against Man United, so you would expect at least one of these to come back into the team. If they were fit enough to be on the bench, you would expect this time around.
Do you think do you think he was saving them for that game? Like,
I don't know.
Think he was
to leave Fabian out, then fair enough. But to leave Fernandez out, who is my I'll probably say my favourite player at the club at the minute. Obviously, you can look up the field and look at your flair player in the likes of Saint, but for me, Fernandez Fernandez for me. To leave him out, it was a strange one. Maybe he had a knock and you didn't want to risk him. And like you said, you look ahead and thinking, right, Man United, we'll just write that off. The Cristiano Ronaldo show, we'll write it off and we'll focus on the Leeds game. Possibly, but I probably would expect him to come back in. I really would.
I would hope so. I mean, I don't really know what's happened to the player we used to know as Jamal Lascelles. Like, what is, like, he's just dropped off a cliff.
Lascelles does this, though. He's done it for God knows how many times now, mate. He has a couple of decent games, then he drops off and he turns into an absolute, I don't even know what I want to call him, but liability at times.
I mean,
Was it 2 penalties to give away so far?
Yeah, he just looks totally off the pace, and he's not like, to think we're talking about him going to, come on, which was it, a World Cup or the Euros a few years ago?
It was a World Cup, I think.
Like, to now, like, his stock, I don't think could be any lower, really. When, for me, he would have been one of the first names on the team sheet, like, because he provided. Always
give him credit for that leadership and that organisation at the back, and it's something which I think we've been missing since the start of this season.
Yeah. But I think, like you say, I would be happy. I think Fernandez has got to be in there. I'll play Shaw, and then I would probably go.
So one of your bigger questions now is after the mess ups and the hiccups that Woodman had against Man United for the first 2 goals, does Darlow come back in now?
That is a massive
for me.
Goal.
Yes.
Yeah. I keep going in between. Like, I think
Gillespie.
Get Gillespie in. Was he Carlisle's keeper last season, or was it Hearts or some random team? He was
our goalkeeper last season.
No, I was Motherwell. That's where we got
season
from.
Before, wasn't it?
Season before, I keep going between the two. Darlow's been out for a long time. He isn't, in my opinion, he's not that much of an upgrade on Woodman, really. Like, Dubravka is miles ahead of both of them.
I agree.
And like, Darlow has played more Premier League games. He's got a bit more experience, but then he's been out for God knows how long. He's had COVID. Like, is it time to stick with Woodman? I think obviously Woodman's confidence is going to be really badly affected by the last few games. I think
he actually came out and apologised, didn't he?
But I think for a lot of it, he hasn't got a lot to apologise for, in the sense that he's a young keeper. He's playing in front of an inconsistent back line. And he has shown, granted it was in the Championship, but he has shown that he is a good keeper.
I think we'll have to look at this season as an overall. I know only 4 games in, but the first 3 games he hasn't really been at fault, and the goals that have been scored that were his hands. Let's be honest. His penalties, he's had to face 3 penalties in the first 3 games.
Hands on 2 of them. No, we saved the West Ham one, but then obviously
he had the penalties in the cup game. He hasn't really done anything wrong apart from that Man United game with the 2, and the first one was poor. What really was that just put on the plate for Ronaldo.
For me, keepers are that it's more than any other position. It's all confidence, and I think Bruce, by sticking by him, could give him that confidence to be able to, things like command his box and stuff. That is going to come as he gets, and I think that's part of the reason. Apart from obviously the obvious Steve Bruce problem, like I think that is a problem why we are conceding so many goals, because I think the defense, they're a mix and match every other game, but then they're playing that little bit extra deep because they haven't got the confidence that they would have in a Dubravka, and maybe Darlow. Maybe there might be a little bit more confidence.
There's a few comments in me about Darlow. I think I'll put them back on the screen. So Andy Burnham, hi Andy.
Hi Andrew.
Said that Darlow has never let us down. To be fair, I think there was a couple of games last season where he had a couple of howlers. To be honest with you,
I'm not
nothing major.
Yeah, I'm not like hating on Darlow. I don't think, but I think like it's like when a player's out injured, they become a little bit better than maybe what we remember. Like Darlow has had some good games for Andy. Don't get us wrong, and I do. He's not a shit keeper by any stretch of imagination, but I just think Darlow's not going to get any better. Whereas Woodman has the potential to get better, possibly under a better manager, but that remains to be seen whether anything happens in that, direction.
If you look at the grand scheme of things, then yes, Dubravka is your number 1 all day long, not even close. But I think Darlow there's a few comments there. Callum Lewis, who is a member of the channel, says, what's Darlow's match fitness going to be like? I think it's a different ballpark for goalkeepers for match fitness, isn't it?
Well, I think it's
more
it's the sharpness,
mentally, isn't it?
I think it's the sharpness. Like if you remember when Dubravka first came back from his injury last season, when they dropped Darlow, he was a bit shaky, and I think he cost in the first game he came back, which I'm sure Darryl or someone will definitely remember which game it was, when Darlow had been in goal, and then there was, I remember having this conversation, I think with Sam on extra time, where we're like, should we drop Darlow now and put Dubravka back in now that he's fit?
Yeah. I think there was a comment there that said it was also the Man United game last season which led for Darlow being dropped. Then Dubravka came in the next one.
Yes. Yeah. So I would stick with Woodman. I would try and give him that confidence. But I think maybe it's a bit of a toss-up. I don't know. I don't think it would go majorly. I think that there would be much of a muchness, because Darlow's match sharpness wouldn't be there, but then Woodman's confidence maybe isn't there. So the kind
flip of a coin really isn't. And the thing is, there's some comments there by Andy once again and Andrew, basically saying that Woodman is the future of this club, and I totally agree with that. Yeah. Of course he is. Which, in my understanding now, it's probably not going to do any harm to bring Darlow back in. Then obviously look ahead. January comes in, you can probably expect Dubravka to come back in January.
You would hope so, unless he's sold.
Unless he's sold, which obviously leaves that opportunity for Darlow to potentially for Woodman to potentially go back out on loan for the final 6 months, then bring him back the next season and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because I honestly think next season you probably won't see both Dubravka and Darlow here. One of them will leave, and Woodman will either fill that number 1 spot or the second choice spot.
I mean, they've obviously kept hold of him for a reason. They've let him go out on loan, and somebody at the club obviously thinks, right, this kid is going to make it. And I do think there's a good keeper there, a really good keeper there. It's just, he's well thought of in the England ranks. He's played at most levels for England. Yeah. So I would stick with Woodman personally. Personally speaking for myself, like.
So another player that we need to touch on is how well Almiron did against Man United, playing in a position which obviously showcased what he can actually do. Or we're now at the point now, if Hayden does move back into that centre midfield role, obviously Willock will be joining him alongside there. Is it once again where Almiron is just shipped out to the side, or playing as a third centre midfielder, or what? Or we're not going to see that Almiron that we saw against Man United?
I think Almiron was obviously his main attribute is the pace, being able to get out of little tight situations. And I
the
think
good thing about that game against Man United is, but they were so gung-ho about getting forward, it was leaving a lot of pockets of spaces. Yeah. You probably won't see that against Leeds as much as...
I think it's a completely... Well, every game's completely different, but I think it is completely different. And I think, really, Bruce has got to... Like, my midfield, if he's going to play 3-5-2, would be... I would have Hayden, Longstaff, and Willock if he's fit. Like, I think we need to stick with those three players and set in. If we're gonna get anywhere, I think we do need like consistency. It might mean that we'll lose a couple more games, but like we kind of keep chopping and changing.
Yeah,
because he needs to pick what his best 11 is. Yeah. And like, in my opinion,
he doesn't know yet.
Yeah, in my opinion, I would play those three. Oh, let's keep coming down now. Like, even when we're trying to get Fraser in centre midfield, I would rather play, and I'm sure I'll get some hate for this, but like, I'd rather play Hendrick. I'd rather play a player in his position, like who's played that position all their career. Like, I just don't believe in playing these square pegs in round holes.
Until he came to Newcastle United, he started playing on the right wing.
Yeah, and he's not. He's surprisingly, he's not a right winger. In any sense of the word. Yeah.
Someone else, Callum Wilson, out for a number of weeks. Apparently, something which we all saw coming. Steve Bruce didn't, apparently. Yeah. Even though he says him every single day in training, but we saw it coming.
Yeah.
The rest of the fan base saw it coming. Steve Bruce didn't.
Yeah.
He was happy with these options up top.
Yeah.
Joe again?
I think it's gonna be
Dwight.
But I would always play Dwight Gale ahead of I'd play Jeff Hendrick up front instead of Joe Linton, to be perfectly honest with you. Because you're like, for the game against Man Utd, you're playing Alan up front.
Alan, is that what we're going with now?
I'm
is it?
Going with Alan.
All right, okay.
I'm going with Alan, and then you're playing Joe Linton on the left hand side, and neither of them are really gonna. Then Alan's not a centre forward, and he's not really a left winger. So like, I would if you put if you put Dwight Gale in for 10 games, and you put Joe Linton in for 10 games, I guarantee he will get you more goals.
Gale's gonna get more.
Gale would get at least 2 or 3 goals. Joe Linton, for me, brings absolutely nothing to the side.
Yeah,
nothing. Like,
are you that side of the fence now? Where you're? I'm not saying now. You might have always been this side of the fence, but do you honestly think you can't offer anything?
Nah,
really.
I really do now. I'm like, when he first came, I was like, right, it takes, players come from a completely different league. Does he understand the language? Is he settled in? You think his wife had just had, there's loads of factors around a player signing for a club. But like, if you can't do the basics of what you're being asked to do, or if you don't fit into the system, if we do have a system, then he's not bringing anything. I have no doubt he could probably go to a different club.
I think I'm probably with you there.
Into a structure and do all right. But like, at this time, with this team, with this manager, I think with all that's happened previously, I think it's too far. I'm
probably with you to the point where he's a type of player. If you did put him in a different formation, different structure, different strategy, then yes. But I think he's also that player where he can't play out of that position either. Yeah. That's his position. He has to play in that position. Yeah. Probably similar to Almiron, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it's more noticeable with Joe because we're expecting him to score the goals. We're not expecting Almiron to score the goals.
But I think with Almiron, you know as a minimum you're going to get effort. And whether it's, I don't think Joe Linton just tosses it off. I just think his style is languid. I don't think he wants to do.
It's very similar to Shelby's body language.
Oh, don't get started on Shelby. Don't get started. But like, he's just got a languid style that just, if you're a watching fan, you're just like, he drives you mental. And Almiron, yes, he has his faults, but he puts it in for the team, and he'll play wherever he's asked to play, and he'll give it as much as he can. Whereas I think Joe Linton, he's been playing in that many different positions that.
So staying with the strikers, there's a comment in here from Andrew Coburn who says, Bruce said that he was happy because he had Joe, Saint, and Gale who can play up top after saying that Joe wasn't a striker. I think the problem that you have with that list of 3, you've got one striker.
Yeah, one striker. Yeah. Steve Bruce.
And we know that once again. The fans know that. But Steve Bruce doesn't.
But the problem is the fans are listening to the Chronicle too much, and this
we're
is
negative.
The negative.
There are strikers, but we're too negative.
Yeah, we're too
because
negative.
of Lee Ryder.
Lee Ryder. Oh, Lee Ryder. I think the next step is a groan. He's gone from the eye roll, then he's gurning, and then I think there's going to be like an audible.
How far away from swearing? Like we got Lee Ryder from the Chronicle goes, fuck's sake.
He just goes, yeah, fuck off.
Do I have to? Then the next stage is you just want to leave.
It is sexual tension, I'm telling you. There is.
The next one. In fact, he doesn't leave. He just pretends he can't hear me go, what?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. Why don't you listen to me, Lee? Like there'll be like, I think there might be a breaking point where he just pours out his real true emotion about what is that, like, you never laugh at movies the same as I do. Like there'll be something. There'll be
never hold me hand in public.
Yeah, there'll be something. Like, and then maybe they'll heal it, and then they'll be walking down Northumberland Street with their hands in each other's back pockets. Who knows?
Never know.
Watch this space.
Leeds only have one fit centre back, apparently. Does that mean we are going 5 at the back?
Yeah. Well, you can see it though. I think you look at theirs and go, right, they've got, is it Cooper the centre back? I don't know. I think
the fit one.
Yeah, I think the fit one's Cooper. So yeah, but it's still usually you would think, right, got one fit centre back, we're going to get absolutely we're going to get amongst this lot.
Not just that, they've got one fit centre back. They haven't won a game all season. We've still been scoring goals but conceding a lot.
Yeah.
So the opportunity is there to score some goals. But for fine well, it's going to be 5 at the back.
Yeah.
We'll be playing wing backs again.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if
and we're all going to be full of drink as well. So if that goes tits up,
that is going to be, we haven't really, the toxicity of how bad it could get. Who knows? And I'm always a bit like, I think when at the Man United game, there was a bit of abuse, obviously directed at Bruce, but then the fans got behind the team. And I think there's got to be that balance of like, we've got to support the lads.
It was also the Southampton game as well. When it was 1-1, I think it might have been. Then it was a case of whoever scores the next goal.
Yeah,
the atmosphere is going to flip because the chants were already coming out. Then obviously we got the next one. In fact, that's right. Yeah, it was Leon. You could see it. In fact, no, I might be lying. It might be in half time leading in, and I thought whoever scores first, and that's going to flip the. It was that. Then we scored first. If we don't get off to a decent start, it's going to be hell on earth for Steve Bruce.
Leeds will know that. Like they will know, right? If we can, and like it's a total cliche, and I think every retired player who's ever commented on Newcastle, who didn't play for Newcastle, has said, like, if you keep them quiet, keep the team quiet, keep them pinned in their own half, frustrate them, the fans will get annoyed. And then at the best of times that happens. But now, the way things are, it could have a real detrimental effect. But we can only react on what we're seeing and what we've been subject to. So, but I do think that the way that Bruce he's basically the only public figure of the club at all. So
apart from that, in fact, I'm going to say apart from that statement, we don't even know who wrote that statement.
But like,
maybe it was
coming back to kind of touching on these outbursts and press conferences and these reactions, I think he's a man who's just completely frustrated with absolutely everything and everyone. And I think that clouds his judgment in terms of players he picks, teams he picks, how he puts out his tactics, the way he responds in press conferences. And I think things are just kind of imploding a little bit on him. And I think Friday could be a real watershed moment in his future at Newcastle. I think if it does turn straight away and Leeds frustrated for the first 20 minutes, don't die because I don't know how to really operate the StreamYard.
Don't die because I don't know how to work StreamYard.
Don't die. And it's like, don't do a Tommy Cooper. Sorry, ask your dads with Tommy.
It's Mark Sidus. Thanks, Mark. I'm joking on it.
Yeah. So, but there is a slither of sympathy with Bruce in the fact that there's nobody else who's a visible presence at the club who speaks. So Mike Ashley and Lee Charney are probably rubbing their hands together thinking, we're still making the books. He's taking all the shit, you know? And I think maybe Bruce is catching on to that, and that's why he's getting increasingly frustrated, even though he was told by
everyone.
Shearer
told him not to take the job.
You know, so I think the first 20 minutes are absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
Absolutely crucial.
And like I said, with it being a Friday night kickoff as well,
there's going to be some.
Everyone's going to be ready for this one because we're going to be absolutely smashed out with tits.
Yeah, there's going to be some like.
I'm going out at breakfast.
You got to put a day off in as well.
Well, breakfast pints.
Oh my god! It's going to be.
What time do the bars officially open?
Well, actually, I was down North Shields the other day, and I think if you go and get a breakfast at Wetherspoons, you can get like a pint with your breakfast at like 8-ish. And there were people with
owned by a Tory though. That's a problem. Sorry, Tories.
I think we're all owned by Tories.
Yeah, owned by Tories. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Mike Ashley's a Tory.
Unfortunately,
Tell you that now. Oh God, we've just lost about 20 subscribers with all the blueies out there.
Don't get political.
Sorry. Anybody that does have any questions, not political ones, anything related to the game, don't
ask us about GDP or anything like that or
Brexit. Give us a shout, and we'll go through a couple of questions before we wrap this one up. I'll come to you. The scoreline.
Fucking hell! I generally try and go with 2-1, a win at home, 2-1. There's absolutely no basis or there's nothing actually behind that. It's just a blind faith that we might actually win 2-1.
Okay.
I think we need to get that first goal. I think we might go in at half time ones each, and then I think
we'll have to remember that
there's going to be a swashbuckling end to the game where we're going to win 2-1.
We're going to be like pirates.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got the patch
with the thingy down. He's going to have
a patch.
Not just these things.
His Gucci headband that way.
Gucci headbands, because it's going to slip down. It's going to be like an inadvertent like.
Do you want to demonstrate? I've got the Gucci headband. I'm going to demonstrate.
I don't think that people need to see me with a Gucci headband on. I'm nearly 40, so I think you can all imagine.
I'm going to go. There's going to be goals in this. Of course, with those goals. Leeds can't defend. We can't defend. We can score the odd goal. I think there will be a few goals. And I'm going to go 2-2.
Nice. Archbishop Desmond.
But I think it'll be similar to the Southampton game where we'll score a late one, then they'll score.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if it was the other way around, if they got a late one and then we rallied and scored, but I can see we're conceding, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll try and just go for 2-1 just because.
Ryan Sweeney has said, I don't think it's a question, he just says, we will be relegated. I don't think we're going to argue with you, mate.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get much objection to that.
You've got to remember going into last season, I think, when we're done with envelopes, which we haven't done this season yet, so we'll probably do this one. Bestie's back on Monday, so we'll probably do best with envelopes with Bestie on Monday when we do the All Smile Faces podcast. I don't disagree with you, mate. Decker said last year leading into the season that we probably wouldn't win a single game. So for all this bullshit that we get as fans, like you expect too much, we didn't expect to win a fucking game last season.
What would be the opposite of the Invincibles?
Like, Invisibles,
yeah, the Invisible season. Imagine the DVD. The sales would be epic. I think that would take
for who?
For us. Like imagine, like front and center here, the Invisibles, the disastrous season.
The season where we haven't won a single. Who's buying that DVD?
Someone would buy it.
You just said it'd be like
someone would buy it. Someone would buy it.
Malcolm's.
No, like because people love memorabilia.
Get it signed by Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce. But you'd have to probably take the insert out, make it like a Man United treble winning season DVD. Get him to sign that, and then there's
another comment by another member, Dale 8819, who says, "How ironic has Always Smiling Faces become?" It's a line out the bleeding races, man. And you have to remember on a Monday night, no matter what the result, we still managed to have a laugh on there.
Like at the end of the day,
we're shit. We know we're shit. We can't do anything to stop we're being shit. That's out of our hands. So you just have to run with it. Just accept that we're shit.
Just got to take the joy out of life that you can.
And just enjoy the tiniest little moments.
It might be a little shimmy by Kieran Clark, which he then punts down the left.
Isaac Hayden might not lie on the ground for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Miggy might be playing in the right position.
Yeah, like there's these little.
Callum Wilson might not get injured.
I wouldn't push it too far. Like.
We just have to take it, don't we? And Mark Walker sums it up. We smile through the pain. Geordie Sancaster says Newcastle will win 5-2.
Yes, Geordie.
Get him in that seat.
He's a regular extra time contributor, so he's got our.
Oh, he was the only one watching you the other night, wasn't he?
All right, mate.
Not the only one that was putting comments in. Sorry, not the only one watching.
All right, mate. We peaked at 9. Do you know what I mean?
9 o'clock at 9 people watching.
People are busy on a Thursday night.
It was a Friday.
Oh, it's a Friday. I mean, people even more so. People are busy on a Friday night. There's Gardener's World.
Gogglebox.
There's Gogglebox. There are 2-for-1s.
There's normally a game, but there wasn't last Friday.
Like loads of stuff. Like families get together on a Friday night in a lot of places. There's loads of stuff happening.
Yeah.
That maybe stops people from tuning in live, but Laura and I are proud of our numbers and we stand by them.
It's not about the live numbers, it's about the overall numbers, mate. And you did well. Extra time, it is going to be start recording here in the studio, so you'll most likely have Roger either there or here.
Yeah.
And you'll have Laura
in a booster
alongside
seat.
him in a booster seat.
Yeah.
We bought some special cushions for Laura to sit on.
We've been to Paddy Forster Barber and Shop and we're going to borrow one of his leather boosters.
Yeah.
I'm going to whack him on there and we'll see.
Want him on there?
Whack him? Yeah, whack. That is an appropriate adjective. We're going to whack it on there. Yeah, we're going to whack it on there.
Anybody, any more questions? And we'll wrap it up anytime soon. But if there's any more questions,
I mean, we've kind of touched on the game a little bit.
What I want to ask you is, if you had to eat cat food, right, would you prefer it in jelly or gravy?
Like sweet jelly?
Like, you've never seen cat food before? You get an option of... This is the Leeds preview. We're talking about cat food and jelly and gravy.
No, but... Are you talking like human gravy? Not human gravy, but like... not like made from human remains, but like beef gravy.
You've never saw like a pet food before?
Yeah, I've fucking seen pet food before.
Yeah,
but
it comes in squares and it's like either covered and molded together with gravy or jelly. I don't know what it tastes like.
Gravy, innit? It's got to be gravy.
Has to be gravy.
It's got to be. Can I warm it up?
I'm not sure if that'll make it worse. The smell gets stronger.
Yeah. Can I warm the gravy up, but not the meat? Is it meat?
It's fish normally, innit?
Oh, gravy and fish.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that. Like, maybe it's the jelly then.
This is what happens when you don't send questions in.
Yeah, maybe it's the jelly. I'll go with... No, I'm going to stick with gravy. I'll stick with gravy.
William Bartram says, it's my birthday today, and all I want is a fucking tune win. Happy birthday, mate.
Happy birthday, William.
Don't expect that present, but happy birthday.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good one.
Be disappointed, unfortunately.
Ryan Sweeney says that he would have it with gravy. Max NUFC says, are you going for a pint with Neville and Carragher? Maybe they're coming here for a pint with Chris and Roger.
Is this...
No, but we're not. We haven't been invited.
No.
I
mean, I wouldn't expect, I wouldn't expect to be invited, but I would have thought someone with your huge profile and online following.
So,
do you know what I mean?
So, they've done something
with like a distinctive following and distinctive vibe.
They've done something a few years ago. They've done the fan debate or the big debate. I think what the big debate was.
Was it not the mass debate?
No, it was the big debate, and me, Bestie, and Adam went down. It was the first time they'd done it. We got the invite as Newcastle representatives, and that came from the true Geordie, believe it or not. He put our names forward. He said, follow these lads because these are the best ones to talk about Newcastle United. Don't take themselves too seriously. They have a laugh with it, and they realise that was shit.
Would you have that on your dating profile?
What, I realise I'm shit?
No, it doesn't take himself too seriously. I was having this discussion with somebody.
It's a bit cringe, isn't it?
Yeah, like... Our last and our mates were talking. I don't know why we're talking about this now, but anyway, I've started, so I'll finish. So they were talking about like, I wouldn't go out with somebody who doesn't take themselves too seriously. Would you have it on you? I don't take myself too seriously.
I wouldn't have it on a dating profile. I understand what it means, but I wouldn't like.
You wouldn't advertise it.
I would just push it one side and they'd realise
that you don't.
Afterwards,
you do.
when I turn up and like stripey, like, yeah. Anything else? Any more random questions you want to fire?
No, carry on.
You done?
I don't know why that just popped in my brain when he said don't
yeah.
too seriously.
But yeah, we're not going to see Carrigan Neville. Not yet. They haven't sent the invite our way. I'll tell you who will get an invite. I won't, but you know. Is this what you do?
Who's in the know?
Yeah, we won't get an invite. Join the dots. It might not be them either. I'm just lying. I'm just lying. Right, so you're going for a 2-1 Newcastle United win. I'm going 2-2. Somebody's going 5-2.
But Geordie's very
pro goals.
Yeah, he's pro goals.
Pro goals, pro gravy.
His expected goals is way beyond his expectations.
We'll end on this one. Andrew Coburn once again says, "What's your take on what Craig Hope has reported?"
About the fight, the brawl?
If Craig Hope is reporting it, it's probably happened.
Is he still in touch with the mole?
If we're assuming that the mole is Matty Longstaff and Sean Longstaff, then I would imagine so. Or their dad, apparently. Apparently, their dad.
Ice hockey guy.
Yeah. It's happened, right? That must have happened. If Craig Hope's going to put his name to that story, then it probably has happened.
Are you calling me a liar?
Call me a liar, Craig.
That was actually that was another one.
Mm-hmm.
Calling me
that was
a liar.
One of the first ones. It was one of the first ones.
Man.
So it probably has happened. Does that affect Bruce? No, like it's under 23s. Apparently, something involved with Steve Hopper's son or something, wasn't it? His mates.
Yeah,
it
was supposed to be Shea Gibbons' son, but it wasn't available.
But yeah,
but do you not think?
I think Craig Hope is still actually banned.
Do you not think it like this? Say this coming out in the press, like it sums up what is going like
as a
what is going on at the club, like beyond Steve Bruce, beyond everything else, you know, he never really heard. Well, not that I recall, but I know things are a bit different now. But say when Keegan was manager, Robson was manager, like when things were good, you don't really hear these little stories come out. Now, maybe that's because the press are then on side.
You probably did about the Maverick players, the likes of Kieran Dyer, like those ones. Then fair enough, you probably did. But under 23s, come on, Leicester had it. Under 23s.
God, they had it right.
When they went, was it Thailand where they were? But if you don't know about that, go and watch those videos.
Google it, kids. Yeah. Take your parental filters off and Google away.
A couple of years later, they went and won the Premier League. So you never know.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
not going to happen.
Going to win the league.
But yeah, Craig Hope, if he's put his name on that, then yes, it's happened. He's still not allowed in the press area. He's sitting in the Gallowgate, probably closely followed by Lee Ryder. And many others, I would imagine, coming his way.
Do you think this is a way of flogging more season tickets?
Well, they're making Lee Ryder buy a season ticket.
Yeah, so like what they'll do is they'll strategically towards Christmas. When
I think we have a spare. Yours is going spare.
Mine's going spare.
Lee?
I'm at a wedding. Happy days and good luck, Trevor and Verity. Big fans of the show. No, I think maybe it's a ploy to like sell more season tickets. So Craig Hope's gonna have to get a season ticket. Ryder's gonna have to get right. Eventually, Simon O'Rourke will have to get one because he was sort of chipping away a little.
Miles, he'll be next.
So I think he's just trying to. Maybe it's Maybe that's his tactic. He's stumbled upon a tactic finally to get more fans into the ground.
Do you reckon Luke Edwards is going to start decorating the press box how he wants it?
Yeah, I mean, it'll just be
hi Lee.
It'll just
Lee, Luke, hi Luke, hi Lee.
I think it'll just be him and Brucey eventually. But when are the press going to actually be able to go back into interview him? Do you think they'll just stick?
So Newcastle, this is a little exclusive for you. Newcastle had to employ a COVID officer who gives them a list of things they can do, they can't do. They have to go to this COVID officer. Press will probably be one of them saying, "Oh well, I'll press in yet. Oh well, I would do this, this, and this." And apparently, even though there's 50,000 people in the stadium side by side, we still need a COVID officer for certain things, which is mental.
Right.
And it prevented something from happening the first game of the season, which I don't want to say. Well, I'll probably get bollocked. You probably know that the big wavy things. But yeah, I'm not saying anything else.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. COVID.
Does he play a striker at all? This COVID officer, is he any good? Can he hold the ball?
Number 10 will want, mate. Number 10. But right, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks everybody who has been watching tonight.
Thank you,
Roger. There's 70 plus people.
Yeah, that is 61 better than the last effort. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter as well for more excellent banter.
Follow us on Twitter. That's the first time anybody's ever said this on this channel.
I got 400 followers.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
What's your Twitter at?
At Banksy1892. So follow away. Unless you're selling cryptocurrency, then you can fuck off. Sorry, Mom. Big fan.
Does your mum sell cryptocurrency?
She's like, he's just said. Well, she's more. She's like. She's into Bitcoin she's quite deep. Right. Into Bitcoin, I mean. But yeah, I think she's about 10 grand in to Bitcoin.
We might get some money out of that, mate. Inheritance.
Jilly B, she's deep like
She's deep.
Oh, she's deep like the wombat. She's deep. Right. So yep. Thanks if you want. Follow us.
You probably weren't expecting that as a preview for the Leeds in Newcastle game, but you got it anyway.
Yeah, 2-1.
Didn't ask for it.
Yeah, like and subscribe, as my daughter says.
Yeah, so thanks everybody. Thanks everybody who has liked it. If you haven't, please do so. It helps us out massively. If you do want to become a member as well, that gives us a little kickback as well. Helps us improve things, and we'll replace Roger if you. Sorry, mate. We'll replace Roger if we get enough money.
How come you got to host anyway? It's like I thought this was an extra time thing. Surely I should have been the one who was hosting, but no.
Thanks everybody.
No, okay.
See you later.
Stay tuned. Stay alert.
Wash your hands.